Hi, it's Ursula from ursula-smith.com, and I didn't show myself pumping the hydraulic press just because it's loud and squeaky, but I just wanted to show you I have a manual one, and you can see I barely went past. It's just to where the handle kind of meets some resistance. And check out what I just did. So, an impression die, a little piece of urethane, a paper snowflake, and voila. Now, of course, you're not going to go out and buy a hydraulic press and all these impression dies if you're just a paper crafter. But if you happen to own one of these things and you're in the middle of making Christmas gifts, make some pieces to go with the gift that matches. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time. So I also just wanted to show you an idea of another thing that I've tried that did work. This thing is for, I don't even know if they still make it, but it's basically kind of the same idea. It presses down using this handle to work polymer clay. And I tried it with the impression die and that little piece of urethane, and I got a similar impression. Not quite as detailed. I didn't press super hard. It's a little off kilter, but I'm just thinking that if you have other tools around that can exert pressure, you might be able to utilize some of these impression dies. And I mean, I wouldn't go bonkers buying a really expensive one, but if you can find an inexpensive one, you might want to give it a shot. Thanks again for joining me. See you next time. Okay, last experiment. So these impression dies do not fit in a big shot. They're too thick even without anything under it. And so I had done this in leather using the impression die and leather in this Accucut machine. So it's a much bigger machine. When I used to teach stamping and scrapbooking, this was my go-to machine. And so what I did was I didn't use the embossing rubber. That didn't seem to work very well. So I went back to just the little tiny piece of urethane. Didn't need a cutting mat or anything like that. And I taped the paper down to the die, because when you're going through the rolling motion with force, it was just kind of moving the paper around, especially little delicate snowflake and the urethane. So it would work, but it would be off kilter. And so I just used the Scotch brand tape that, doesn't stick when you want it to stick. So I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. And I cannot get this off one-handed. So I'm probably going to have to go off camera to do it. I will tell you, I tried it first with painter's tape, and that did not work. It worked, but then I couldn't get the painter tape off. So, and it looked like I didn't line it up very well, but you kind of get the idea. So if you happen to be a paper crafter, and also, the normal paper crafter probably wouldn't have these things, but if you're into clay, polymer or metal clay, you might have picked up some impression dies along the way. That's kind of how I started with these. I mean, even now that I have the press that actually, is supposed to be the machine you use with these, I didn't have it for years and years and years, and I just use these with clay. So, now, if I make a gift for somebody, I can have tags that kind of repeat that design. Oh, there it is. I'm kind of getting it off. There we go. And this was wonky to begin with, that little piece that's missing. That's why I was testing with this one. But in any event, so there's kind of 3 alternatives. The best one is definitely the press. You get better detail, as I showed in the first segment. And then that other clay thing. And then the Accucut machine. So I wouldn't go out and start buying up these things if you're not using them already. This is more for those people who happen to have them on hand, and also have some of these other machines that just, go ahead and try paper. I do have video filmed. Who knows whether it'll be released before this one is, but I have also repeated my experiment of the impression dies with leather in the hydraulic press, and that works great as well. So thanks yet again for joining me, and we'll see you next time.